we are back for the bonus episode. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, episode 5 and 6, recap / discussion / review of Don to Don. Episode 5 has a very interesting name. It's called Like, Where Are Your Balls? So you can gather a lot just from that name.
Yeah.
Dean, what did you think of this episode?
Absolutely, I love it. Every time I go into one of these episodes, I'm still amazed on how good it looks.
Hey, it's just
like
yes.
Like there's no downgrade whatsoever unless done like purposely in either an art style that's like, you know, supposed to be there, or just in a clever way of like having to downgrade. But like I haven't seen that really.
Yeah.
It's always been like, you know,
it's been incredibly consistent. Like,
yeah,
like the low bar is actually high in this anime. Like,
yes,
it's very good.
But yeah, episode 5 really good. It's very familiar,
dude,
probably to a lot of people because of how much overthinking there is, and it's like this is how I was in high school.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like the episode. Like, I here I am gushing. I gotta stop. Easy, calm down. This episode was so damn cute.
Yeah.
And heart wrenching at the same time. It for a lot of that reason right there. There's no, in my opinion, there's no stopping this anime. It just isn't.
Yeah, no.
It is simply just so damn great.
It is good, and this is finally the episode because every time I mention the cat.
Yep.
If we finally get introduced.
Finally get the cat.
Finally.
Yeah. I was thinking that when I watched it last week. I was like, oh man, I don't get to talk to Dean about this episode right now.
It's finally the episode. It finally happened.
Finally got the cat.
Because even like off podcast, I'm always
you've been talking about
where's
it.
the cat? I want the cat. I see it in the intro every time.
And we got the cat.
And it finally happened.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts? You have like other thoughts you want to touch on? Because I'll get into my things after if you'd like, unless you want to bounce.
You go more into detail. Me, I just like it looks pretty. So I got
you have good opinions.
I mean, overall, like just it's that familiarity because like you have to remember they are in high school and there's a lot of overthinking and and it's it brought me back to a place that was just as a kid, like, oh, I remember these feelings. Now I'm old and grouchy, so now I'm just like
old and grouchy.
Yeah, I'm old and grouchy. Yeah,
but that was one of my very it's a huge positive for me. It's wholesome. This episode was very wholesome, very cute, but also very painful. This episode had me thinking back on some very cringe memories. Like I was like, no. How many times I not just me, but have I I still do this. I overthink. That's one of my biggest flaws is my chronic overthinking. But how much I would do it and not be aware of it when I was in high school or even middle school. Like it just and it sounds like you dealt with the same, and a lot of people do. Most people do.
Yeah, I was definitely the guy who saw someone waving and I waved back, but they were waving to the person behind me for sure.
God, pain. Dude, that actually happened to me the other day. Oh my God, as an adult.
As an adult. Oh man.
Yeah.
But that's. Those are my thoughts. Initially. So
okay.
Let's get into it.
So another one of my massive positives is SS, as in Science Saru, is still killing it, like absolutely killing it with the animation quality and consistency. And you already touched on that.
Yeah.
But those it's just so good. Consistency, is key for a lot of things in my life. Not in my life. I'm not consistent. I suck. but like things that I intake, things that I enjoy, things that I consume.
Yeah.
Consistency is very key. Like I don't want something I'm going to get a vastly different experience. And it's not a bad thing to have that, but the things that have me like gushing and coming back for more are the consistent things.
Yeah.
Because you just know what you're going to get. Every time I feel like now, I know I'm going into the next episode of Dandadan, and we're getting a banger of an episode.
Yeah. That it's actually pretty good how you put that.
In science,
like it is a familiar feeling. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I know what I'm expecting because of how good they are. Yeah.
Yep. And Science Saru is like I don't want to jinx them because I hope they succeed for years to come. I feel like they're putting themselves on a pedestal with this, because it's just been that good. They're going to be considered one of the best studios because of this anime.
Good,
in my opinion. Obviously, it's just an opinion, but
yeah,
I think it's going to be like a general consensus.
I'd agree. I mean, we've been watching a lot of anime recently. I mean, just in general, we watch a lot of it, but like, for podcasts and reviewing and stuff. And it just seeing how good this is constantly when other ones are like, oh yeah, that episode was really good. They put a lot of money into it. And then you see like the next three and it's like, all right,
Yeah. Or like the heavy use of like very noticeable CGI.
Yes.
Yeah, so
because that has been happening recently, but like I don't see that a lot here unless it's like an actual where they put
it's very whenever it is done, if it is done, that I don't notice very often. Yeah, because if it is done, it's done very well and very minimal.
Absolutely,
which I appreciate. But that just goes to in all these studios recently, like over I would say probably the past 5 to 10 years, are having problems, right? Like with output, there's so much demand. There's more anime than ever coming out. You always have a new anime to watch. And that there's a lot of crunches in Japan. I know, like I know that's a huge problem. Like with especially we saw with Uzumaki recently. Like they're having massive problems with animation. So I just have to give credit where credit's due with Science Saru. I didn't know a lot about them before this anime, but now I look forward to whatever else they come out with, and I can't wait to see like what else they have in store with Dandadan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a massive positive. Let's see now to talk about the episode.
Yeah.
Where I don't need to say it. These episodes are heavy spoiler. Pretty much, we're going to actually talk about the episode. So we already mentioned a few things earlier. Just to preface again before I keep going down this road, that it's all spoiler. Go away now if you don't actually want to hear this.
Just like all of our review episodes, they're going to be spoiler.
Yeah. And we'll always try to preface, but hopefully at this point. And there may be a time, because we get into a flow, that we forget to mention it. Please forgive us if that does happen. But
you can always do like a warning at the beginning or something.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, favorite / funniest moments of episode 5. Okarun still doesn't believe that Momo could possibly want to be his friend. So
yeah, it's literally the whole episode.
So instead of subjecting himself to the possibility of that being true, which I have done, I'm sure you have done, and many people have done. If you haven't done this, I mean, there's people out there who don't want to feel this embarrassment. So instead of subjecting himself to the possibility of this being true, he attempts to walk by Momo on the way to school without making eye contact or saying anything, and while she's clearly standing there waiting for him.
Yeah. Looking at him, watching him approach.
Yeah. It was funny. So she she's like, what the hell? And then she kicks him. She kicks that thought right out of his head. And very cute scene. Very cute.
Yeah.
All the like after that, all the inner dialogue during like their classes, like their internal dialogue, wanting to like talk with each other. Momo's now like gushing about aliens.
Yeah, she just wants to talk to him about aliens. I love how she just constantly would just, I need to talk about aliens.
Mm-hmm. And and Okarun's almost like taken back by. He's like, I don't know how to respond to this because it's so crazy. Which we've had those moments too.
Yeah.
Right. Like we get flustered. We don't understand. Like how is this really happening? How do I respond to this? It's super cute, but you know, Okarun's having his internal dialogues too because he wants to talk about ghosts with Momo now.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much all day they want to like talk to each other. It's very cute. They go on pretty much to lunchtime and they miss each other at each and every turn, and you can see how it's affecting them both because they now, like you mentioned earlier with the overthinking, they're all these scenarios going off in their minds about why, like, is Okarun avoiding me? Is Momo avoiding me? Like, this is such a real thing.
Yeah, they convey that very well too. Like, just how things are drawn, how things are acted. I don't know about the Japanese, but
so good.
The dub, the dub I think does very well as well.
Yeah. So while that was like, this is all very cute, that was like some of these things very like bring back very cringe, painful memories as well at the same time. I'm sure a lot of you can relate.
It's both weird. It's nostalgic, but also like terrifying to go back there.
And then, can't not touch on this. The accidental kiss.
Oh yeah. Oh, I want to point out the sound that it made, like that tooth sound.
Yep.
Oh, it gave me chills, like in a creepy way, because like that sound.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point.
Like,
have
you ever like? It's not. Have you ever like bit down on a fork by accident?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
My mouth's hurting now.
But yeah, both Momo and Okarun are like completely lost in thought, and they end up bumping into each other in a way that makes them accidentally kiss, like in such a minute way, and it was such a holy shit jaw-dropping moment for me. Like I audibly gasped.
I was hear like, it in your voice, like when you said the accidental kiss, like you're running out of breath trying to talk about it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was like a very classic, like meet cute type like interaction right there. Not paying attention, and all of a sudden just
and their reaction to it, like just I mentioned this in a previous episode, how much I love how they go from like wholesome to like immediate bickering with each other.
Yeah.
And essentially that happens immediately after. It's just so good.
Well, because her friends were like standing there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Were you guys just making out?
Yeah, and then it's like, God, it's so good, and that would happen, right?
Oh yeah,
like people, like they're in their own little world a little bit there in that courtyard at the moment, and they probably feel like there's not anybody around, and I almost feel like the scene's portraying that, but there actually is more people around than you're seeing, and obviously you find out that's the case when they're like, oh my God, they kissed, and they're like, oh my God, no, we did it. Then the next big realization, Okarun goes to take a piss.
Yeah.
And guess what? His balls are still gone.
He's got no balls. Which I feel like is a metaphor for him not like just ask her out because you like her, man. Even though he doesn't realize that he doesn't. Well, I don't. Is that in the?
Well, second? Yeah.
Is that in the sixth one? Yeah, I won't mention that one. I'm gonna get them so confused.
No, it's fine. But yeah, they do not let up in the humor department, and I absolutely love it. Like, I don't care the style of humor. I mentioned this previously, but it's really all in the timing, and they consistently nail it.
Yeah.
Then the heart-wrenching part. So after this kiss, right?
Yeah. Oh wait, there is a funny moment after that kiss when they're bickering.
Yeah.
You reminded me. So she says, "You're so stupid. You do." Or no. Wow, what she said? "I'm doing the rejecting around here, you baldy."
Yeah, dude.
And then he's like, "You're so stupid. You don't know what hair is." I don't. That was so like random to me, and that was probably the funniest moment for me because of how just like I did not expect that.
It was funny
for whatever reason.
The things that they say in those moments are like unhinged and hilarious.
Yeah,
and like obviously some of them don't make sense, but that makes it more funny.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that one out because I made a note of it like that. I wanted to mention that one because it threw me off.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okarun, you know, like astonished by his discovery, or surprised incredibly.
Yeah, surprised.
Goes to find Momo to tell her about this discovery. But she's, back in class, surrounded by all the other classmates and her friends, and they're all like gossiping a little bit, but you can tell she's like she's like still embarrassed or bothered at the same time. And he goes to like try to get her to come with him to explain this to her, and she basically like tells him off in front of everybody, which hurt my heart, man.
Yeah.
Like, not just for Okarun, but also just for like this whole episode has kind of been past experiences that are very relatable.
Yeah.
But it really hurt in that way, but also just for Okarun.
Yeah. And for Momo, I think, because like there's a lot of social
No, yeah, I get that.
What's the word I'm looking for? Like social
it's pressure.
Pressure, yeah, social pressure on her to be cool and or whatever is going on.
But she also, I think, was struggling with how to process what she was feeling.
Yes.
Which I think is also a part of it. Like you could tell the way she's kind of just sitting there, like she's in thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. She probably doesn't understand what she's feeling a lot, like most of the time. And but yeah, it was kind of like it sucked. She was being definitely kind of harsh, which
very harsh. Yeah.
Teenagers can do. That like high school is a very brutal part of life.
Absolutely. And you can be harsh to even your best friend in social pressure when social pressure
and not even really mean it, because you don't really understand things that you're saying a lot of the time, or how it's going to affect the person that you say it to. Basically, you could tell he gets, and appropriately gets, very dejected, but he says this thing that would like, this would not kill, but this would hurt a lot of people, like in their heart, to say this to someone, or to have this said to you when you actually care about somebody. Absolutely. So he's like walking away, and he's like, so is it that embarrassing to be friendly to me?
Ooh.
And that's like a dagger.
Yeah, that is extremely rough.
Yeah.
But there is a moment I really did like. I noticed I remember a lot of like audio stuff. Not what people say, because I forget what he says, but like there's a moment where she's like got her back to him, and he says, I forget what he says. He says something, and then you can kind of see her like want to go to look to him, and then like you hear her earring, and it went
that's what he said.
Oh, okay.
It's that moment, because she reacts to that, but slightly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Like it's that moment.
Yeah. She, in that moment, I think felt really bad.
Yeah, like she just wanted to turn around and say whatever she's feeling about him.
Yeah. So yeah, I do remember that moment. I wanted to include it. I just kind of glanced over it.
No, it's okay. It's because it's the audio cue for me. Like, I notice, like, with all this stuff, a lot of stuff I remember is audio, like sensory.
Yeah,
like that's what I pick up.
And she does have a lot of moments with Okarun when he says certain things. She has this slight reaction, and you get the tinge in the earrings.
Yeah.
Which I think in that moment is usually something that means something to her or is impactful to her, which is basically like when him saying that was very impactful. Whether she, said anything or not in the moment, which she didn't.
Right.
But yeah, that was a very, another relatable, heart-wrenching moment.
Very relatable.
But Momo redeems herself very quickly, in my opinion, because we end up having a run-in with the new character.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Her name.
How did I forget this? POS. Yeah. I know people like this in real life too.
Yes.
Or did.
Mm-hmm. And I want to preface, she is in these moments, yes, incredibly hard to like. I hope I believe that she's going to have very big growing moments. And I hope that she does. But Ira, you don't learn her name in this episode, but she basically bumps into Okarun while he's, getting ready to leave for the day. And she's being super sweet to him. Like weirdly, right? And he's getting all flustered. She's, touching him a little bit. Not in a weird way, like placing
like, oh, I'm so
like
sorry.
Being super nice.
Yeah.
And he's getting super flustered, which is kind of funny in the moment. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
And
good. we've all felt that, like, oh, you have a crush, and then a girl starts paying attention to you, like in high school, like someone else, and then now you have a crush on them. Yeah. It's that kind of like transferring, oh, someone being nice to me when my crush isn't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And having those kind of assumption thoughts, which can happen very easily. Like even like a lot of people have these moments later on in their life as well. I still have these moments as well. But early on in life, it's so easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah, it can be.
Of misinterpreting a situation. But also, the way she's portrayed early on is very, like, demonic. Like, she's... she is acting so nice, and it comes off, like, super genuine to him. And in the moment... also genuine to, I think, the audience.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, hey, oh, now it's gonna be another cute girl that he's gonna like,
And but yeah, Momo sees this happening, and she's like, oh my god, I thought he didn't have any friends.
Yeah, like that's the first thing she says.
Right. But Ira starts walking away, and when she regroups with her friend, she starts saying these really messed up things.
Did you see the way he was smiling? All these boys always fall for me, and I just love playing with their heart. That's basically what she was saying.
Yeah, just not saying anything nice at all.
No,
just
not at
being
all.
Genuinely mean. But Momo catches this, and she has this just awesome moment of redemption. She uses her powers and sees a wash tub on some lockers. For whatever reason, that's there. But she drops it on this girl's head, and it's just an awesome moment. And you could tell, like, she's having, like, that protection moment of Okarun.
Yep.
Those feelings are coming out, and she, like, latches onto him. And this moment was freaking awesome. I love this moment.
I did too.
They're walking away. They walk by them, But Momo makes it a point to like look back at her, and her eyes are like daggers, dude. And like if this look to me would mess me up if it was like in my direction. But she's like looking back at Ira, and she says this. I wrote this down. I guess stupid girls will never understand your charm, Okarun. Some are more fit to have wash tubs falling on their heads than guys falling for her.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, damn!
Oh,
that's an incredible burn.
It's like that meme where all the people are like, oh, like around. Yeah, it's such a good moment.
And the way she's just like complimenting Okarun, in front of this girl, like clearly, like just to be spiteful to her, but also just to be kind to Okarun. And God, there's that look in both of her eyes just was like, oh my God, she's an incredible character. So that was a great redemption moment for them. They like, they go on their walk back home, and they they apologize a little bit. And this is when Okarun finally gets to tell her what he wanted to tell her in the first place. And that it's, his balls are still missing. And Momo's reaction is so funny.
And as he's explaining it to, what's the grandma's name?
Psycho.
Yeah.
Or Seiko.
As he's explaining the situation, I like when he says, I wrote this down. Well, the shaft was back, so I felt reassured and didn't notice the balls. Like when she's like, well, how did you not notice the balls? And he's like, well, I had the shaft back. And then I like her reply is like, why are you calling it a shaft? That's more like it's you're a kid. It's more of like a pencil.
Yep. Meanwhile, Momo's just like dying of laughter on the ground. And I love that, dude.
God.
Just we touched at it, or like in the past episodes, just the dynamic of not just Momo and Okarun, but with the addition of Seiko.
Yeah,
that it's just so works. Good.
It's really good.
And this is where you get your favorite part.
Hell yeah! Finally, and I kind of wish it wasn't the granny, but I'm kind of surprised now. Yeah, me too.
I think at first I felt the same. But then going into episode 6,
yeah, I'm a lot happier with it. Yeah, it's a little bit nicer.
Yeah, but oh my God, how they go about finding that there's still something in Okarun.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She's Seiko's just wailing him with a fan. And he's like, and obviously to him, he's like, why? Like, you're just messing around with me, because she's just wailing on him. But then eventually, Momo sees that.
Momo can seize it.
Yeah, that there's there's still something there, and she's able to yank that spirit out of him. And it goes into the Lucky Cat.
Yeah,
that is nearby, and Lucky Cat, now known as, I call it Turbo Kitty.
Turbo Kitty. That's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, so Turbo Kitty, which is Turbo Granny, is now a part of the cast.
As the cat.
Yeah. So that is the end of episode 5. Great, wonderful episode.
Well, we should maybe mention she doesn't have his balls, because that's what they did like a deal, like if she helps, like we find out he still has that power.
Yep.
At the end, like he can still turn into it, because it's only her soul and not her power, so her power is still in him.
Yep.
And then they made like a deal. For her to help find his balls.
Yeah, they find
and then they will give the power back.
Yeah, to get that they make a deal with Granny that she would, I guess, release her or whatever. In return of Okarun's balls. But
Yeah.
It sounds they make so ridiculous
deal, when you say it out loud.
Then they find out she lost his balls.
Yes.
She lost his balls. That's just great.
Great. I hate that when
someone steals your balls and then loses them. Yeah. God, it's just great. It's so good.
I really do like his like transformation, like because it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I call him Edgelord.
Granny,
Edgelord or Karun.
If he had a fedora, it would be perfect.
Yeah,
but it does look cool though.
Yes. Yeah. So episode 5, very good.
Very good.
Episode 6. A dangerous woman arrives. Now, do you have any thoughts on this episode?
Basically the same as the other one. I mean, it still looks good. It's still, it's exactly what I think of Don DeDon. Like, yep. I know exactly what I'm getting, and it's a good.
Very good.
You know, it's just good.
Yeah. Do you want me to hit my positives and then my moments, and we can bounce?
Yeah.
Bounce off.
Yeah.
Okay. So, positives, massive positives. This episode had a little bit of everything, like actually a little bit of everything.
Yes.
We finally got to really meet Ira, which we still get we see that she's very egotistical.
Yes.
Right. Feels like she's the most beautiful girl in town, and that might just be the case because clearly girls and boys are like fawning over her.
Yeah.
But there's more to this character, and I hope we get this. I'll preface that I really think in this next episode, I think episode 7 is going to be one of the best episodes of the season. I just have a feeling. I don't know why. Okay. Mostly kind of just based off a little bit of the preview, but I think it's going to be an incredible episode. But yeah, we finally really get to meet her and see what she's about.
Yeah. I do have a question for you, though. Yeah. So at the beginning of the episode, I don't know if you caught it, she says something about these black hairs. What does that mean? Hairs. Like towards the beginning of the episode, she's like, even these black hairs. Is that like a derogatory thing?
I wonder if that's a translation thing, because I don't recall that, or maybe I somehow missed it. I don't.
Okay, because she was talking about the boys, I'm assuming.
It must be a translation thing. Maybe I'll go back and.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me pause for a second. You know what it is? I think I found it already. I think she's calling them blockheads. At least in this sub.
Oh.
I feel like this has got to be the moment. She's like, I even greet the local blockheads with a smile.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't hear that.
So what did that translate to? What did that?
It said black hairs. And
I'll just show you. Heard. This is the part right here.
Okay. Oh, maybe. What? How many minutes is that in?
I want to see 6 minutes.
All right, 6 minutes. All right, hold on.
I'm just curious now. I wonder if the translation came across weird, or maybe the voice actor said it weird.
Oh, maybe it is blockhead. It sounds like. Hold on. Let me.
I heard it, and it's the way she said it sounded a little off.
Like wait, hold on. The subtitles were not, because I swear to God, she's. Yeah, but you heard that.
Yeah, I could see where that could sound like that.
Blockheads. That makes more sense.
But yeah, obviously in that scene right there, you see like everyone fawning over her. Like even the girls, like she's obviously super popular.
Yeah.
Outside of whatever like issues she's currently having with her personality that might not be very nice. Where were we?
We were
something about
we were just describing like we really find out who she is. Like that's where we started, was basically her at the beginning. So anyways.
All right. Sorry if this gets a little off track there. We took a little bit of a detour.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I tend to
I'm
just blur it
gonna
out.
hope I'm getting right back on track here. It might not be, so forgive us if it's not. But yeah, we get to really not know, but meet Ira and kind of get a sense of who she is and who she is to everyone else. We get some more wholesome and funny moments, specifically with Okarun, who is coming to the realization that Momo is really cute. And the way he's dealing with that is hilarious. Which is basically by like avoidance,
not looking at her.
Yeah, not being able to make eye contact, which is very, very relatable.
Yes.
But she's like, why? What the hell is going on here? Which is understandable because he's acting really freaking weird. But it's cute. It's super cute. And there's the scene that he's like first realizing that she's actually cute, but then he starts like punching himself because he's like, these are impure thoughts.
Yeah,
she's my friend.
That's right. She's my friend. She can't be cute.
Yeah.
And the reason he's thinking this is because the bully guy, right? Or he was
the a-hole.
Yeah, he went up to him and he's like, "Oh, are you guys dating? Because like you should put in a good word."
Yep.
And then he says, didn't he say like?
He's basically saying that like she sleeps around.
Yeah. And he did not like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they saw him turn, but like I don't.
No, I don't think he. I don't think he did. I think that was like internal, but he. Okay. I think some of that ability was coming out.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure. I'm pretty sure it was like an internal
in his head.
Thing,
I think that was portraying him losing control a little bit.
Okay.
To that form, which was really cool. But yeah.
But he started defending her.
Yes, he did, which is awesome because we love Momo.
Oh yeah.
But so to continue on the little bit of everything positive, we also get a new evil spirit, which claims to have been waiting for Ida to finally be able to see her. Don't know how true that is, but I think based off a couple of flashbacks, scenes, and the preview for next episode that it's going to be true. And the spirit is named Acrobatic Silky, which is a neat name.
Yeah.
This spirit is pretty disturbing.
Yeah, well. It's creepy. I felt uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we mentioned why this person or this spirit is targeting her, but like she can see, like she think Momo is like a demon or something because she saw her like magic.
So I will touch on that shortly. So let me finish with this next positive real quick.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if we wanted to mention that first or not.
No, you're good. I just have that a little bit lower down. And then just it's the continuation of incredibly animated and stylized fight scenes. Once again, on point, making use of a very nice looking pink and blue color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks great. It's very, very well animated.
Oh God, it's fantastic.
It's just so good. And yeah, I touched on this earlier in this episode for episode 5, just like how great Science Saru is doing with this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is episode 6, and we still haven't seen like a degrade in quality.
Like not even a little bit.
Yeah. While there are some like the occasional scene where there's just a little bit of a drop off, that is like nothing compared to what you see in most anime.
But I honestly feel like how they do it and portray it, like it works with just this style.
No, exactly. The way that it's drawn. Yeah, absolutely. And me saying that is absolutely not even a negative. It's just me trying to find if there is some kind of degrade in quality that like it's so small.
Yes.
So yeah, those are my positives. Yeah, we already touched on this a bit, but it was Okarun coming to the realization that Momo is cute, and he has this moment with the douchebag classmate.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my language. Because he's like asking him about their relationship status and starts going off about these rumors about Momo, which are, these things actually happen in real life all the damn time. And it's messed up. Yeah.
We all know people like that, and it's just like, why?
Yeah. But I mentioned that, like, in this note that, he uses his edgelord power to bring the douchebag to his knees.
Yeah, that's true.
Okarun, once again, realizing how cute Momo is, but right in front of her. Like in the hallway. I thought that was kind of funny. She's like wondering why he's acting weird and can't make eye contact with her. So she starts chasing after him. That was just funny how they portrayed that. It was just a cute scene. And then you also see that Turbo Kitty, who hitched a ride in Okarun's backpack, now is free to roam on her own.
Just chilling. Just
not for anything
around.
bad, just chilling to explore the town that is the school. So that was funny. That was very cute too.
Yeah, I did like that. That's where she's growing on me, where she's kind of goofy now. I'm like, okay, I like this. I like the dynamic. It's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm. She's going to fit in quite nicely.
Yeah.
Then we get an internal dialogue from Aira and find out that she's the one who spread these rumors about Momo sleeping with people. And I said she's a B word for that.
Yep. And it's like we also know girls that do that, or people who do that just because they're insecure about whatever they're doing. They ruin someone else's life, or at least try to.
So yeah, I mean, essentially it was a very spiteful thing, right? Because you find out in this dialogue that the reason that, she made these rumors is because she actually kind of witnessed a little bit of Momo's psychic ability, because she could see her telekinesis hands.
Yeah.
So I guess she just kind of had the she kind of knows that she dropped the wash tub on her. So she's, this is her retaliation. Which is messed up.
Yeah.
Because it's rumors can really hurt people. Because in high school, people take rumor very as truth. A lot of the time, there's not a lot of capacity for understanding that a rumor is literally just a rumor, and most of the time made up by someone.
Yeah. And never go by rumors or even word of mouth sometimes, like with stuff like that.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah.
In word of mouth all the time, just from person to person. There's always some kind of detail that changes. Take that.
Like the game Telephone,
Right.
If you've ever played that, it's the same thing.
Aira, of course, she is in possession of Okarun's balls.
Or at least one of them. I don't know if it's both.
Yeah, so that's something I was struggling with. I don't know if Turbo Kitty explained that enough or well enough.
Yeah. I'm assuming
not
it's
sure. I think
nuts.
it's the sack. I think it's the sack.
Yeah.
The nut sack. But you get a little flashback of how it happens. It falls from the sky, hits her right in the head, so she gets Okarun's nutsack in his head, in her head. Obviously not as the nutsack, but in a gold ball form. It's like a marble.
A little gold nut ball.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny, just the way that it happened. And you actually see here in this flashback that she was very nearby the scene where Momo, Okarun, and Seiko defeat Turbo Granny in the tunnel.
Yeah, that's right. On the train.
Yep.
That's right.
And this is the moment where Turbo Granny loses
his
mishandles Okarun's ball, and it happens to just fall down and hit her in the head. And you find basically what ends up happening with this, and you find out due to an explanation from Turbo Kitty on the rooftop, is that once you have possession of this, that it can bring out latent abilities or psychic abilities in whoever is in possession.
possession. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Ida is able to see Momo's hands, or telekinesis hands and whatnot. Excuse me. My throat is getting very, very raspy. Been talking a lot.
Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit.
I want to mention it. This is funny how this happens, and I really hope that we get this moment. But basically, like after you see how she handles this ball, and she like caresses it. It's very we know what it is, so it's funny, right?
Yeah.
Like she puts it in her pocket. It's very like she's like weirdly caressing it.
Yeah. She's like obsessed with it. She's like it's like a holy
and it's
object.
She believes that it's giving her like it's giving her this mission to banish spirits and save the world and whatnot, which is pretty like I love that she's having these thoughts. Yes, it also adds a little bit to the egotistical side of her, a little bit to think that that's a thing.
Yeah, to think she was chosen for a reason, even though not really. It's just
but it's kind of funny.
It
just makes it so much more funny knowing what it actually is, and that. And I just can't wait. I can't wait for her to find out that it's Okarun's balls.
I mean, Momo tried to tell her.
Yeah, but she just has no idea. But she's eventually going to actually find out, and it's going to be spectacular. I just know it. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be very good.
So yeah, that's going to be fun. You get the little scene after this where she, I don't know, sees the woman in the red dress for the first time, and she's out. You get like a little flash. You don't really get to see what she looks like fully. You get kind of just like a silhouette, and it's red out on the football field. Definitely kind of a creepy little part. It's like flashing in and out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Pretty much everything after this was great. Everything. From the moment that Ida gets Momo to follow her, it was all intense, sprinkled with a little bit of funny. You really don't have any time to process too much because all of a sudden the woman in the red dress is snatching Ida, and it's fast, which I guess isn't too surprising, but absolutely a creepy moment as you get the actual full look of this new spirit. Yeah, like and so now
she's like 9 foot tall.
Yeah, she's like massive, skinny, slender, red dress, just like terrifying, eyeless, just very super eyes. Long, just gross hair. Yeah, very very creepy. Yep. And then we get the fight, which is Okarun's there, Ida's there, Turbo Kitty's there, and Momo's there. And it's time to throw down. Ida doesn't really know what's going on, but she's kind of in the moment, like, okay, maybe instead of me coming after Momo, maybe we can work together to fight this.
Wait, you're fighting this? We should work together.
Yeah. In that moment, it's funny. The spirit is basically asking Ida to call her mommy.
Mm-hmm.
She does not call her mommy. She calls her monster, and she gets eaten.
Yep. Yeah. Momo hold her own since she's tied up because I guess her and her friends tied her down because try to get rid of the demons or whatever she thought were in Momo.
Before the arrival of the red dress, the woman in the red dress, basically, Ira gets Momo to follow her to a location, and her Ira's friends are ready to ambush Momo, and so Ira can try to exorcise Momo because she thinks she's a demon.
But I love that Momo just literally throws the two friends. Like they're in a Dragon Ball Z fight where they just hit the wall and they're just motionless there. I'm like, Jesus.
Yep. That was crazy. And then in this moment, I definitely skipped over this because there's just so much happening in this later portion of the episode. She's rubbing Okarun's balls all over. Sorry. Right. All over Momo's face. Right. And Momo knows what it is. And it's funny.
Oh my god.
But then this is when, Okradun shows up to the scene. He knows what's about to happen. He realizes that the woman in the red dress is on its way, but it's so fast. It just gets there before Okradun can really do anything.
Yeah, she's
and
quick.
Snatches Arda. And yeah, it just goes on. Okradun transforms. He tries to do his thing, but is pretty subdued, easily subdued. Because he has speed and strength, but he's not. He doesn't have any agility because he can't make like harsh turns or anything like that. God.
Yeah, this fight. I mean, I guess it's like a quick fight, but leading into episode 7, was just fantastic looking. Like you said, with like the pinks and reds, like just it just looks so satisfying.
Yeah, the way they use the contrasting colors is just so good. They're prominent in there. It's just so stylized. It's their own thing, and it just nobody else really does this, and it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Yep.
And it's nice to look at, like in a general sense of like not hurting your eyes as well. Like if you're in a dark room, like this won't hurt your eyes, like because some shows, some anime, anything could just have like a weird, like where some things are like it's kind of hard to look at. Like the palette is really nice on the eyes, no matter what kind of room you're in.
Yeah,
for me, because I like it pitch black.
Yeah, no, same. That's how I view everything. But yeah, basically one of the big weapons for this spirit is that is its hair. So it basically is able to get a hold of a already partially binded Momo and sling her around and do some damage, and then eventually eat her as well. So it's basically eating all three of them. But Momo, using her smarts and her wits, is able to use the cross that Ida has in possession while she was devoured.
Yeah.
That apparently that cross happens to be a lighter, and you get little tidbits about it throughout the episode. That this cross like smells oily and weird, so but you're not really sure why. So
is that why?
Yep.
I did not put that together at all.
Yep.
Like as soon as I saw it was a lighter, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I think I've seen that before. Like
it's a cool little thing that they added in. That, like, of course, they could have just been like, it's just a lighter.
Yeah.
But they did give little hints.
Oh, that makes it so much better. God, that's such good writing.
Yep.
The foreshadowing. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Okay, I didn't put that together at all.
Yeah. Okay. And then, when Momo was eaten last, she was wrapped up in the spirit's hair, so it naturally had to eat some of its hair as well. So Momo was able to use this lighter to light the hair on fire, basically setting the spirit into flames, and it throws them all up.
Absolutely.
Awesome fight scene, and we haven't even got to the meat of it. That's a great. It's a great way to end the episode. It was just great, and Momo's basically like she's out, and it's funny. The moment they get out, they start bickering.
Yeah, of course.
They start squabbling with each other, and it's just so good, man.
I do like the hero pose that Turbo Kitty does when the lighter comes, and she like steps on it and like closes it.
But the look on her face when they get out, and they're bickering, she's like, "Oh my god,
I have to deal with this."
There's so much style, care, and like consistency in this. It's so good. I'm gushing over it, and
there is a screenshot I took of like the coolest. I might have as a background that I will send to you.
Okay.
And so I thought this was like.
Yeah, I'll add it into the.
Okay.
If you send it, I'll add it into the. Into the edit.
Okay, it didn't work. I thought it would. Never mind.
That's all right. You can find a way to send it to me later if you want.
Yeah, I'll have to try to send it to you later. But it's literally just before the credits roll. It has all of them in frame. Like
yes, I have that. Actually, I have that exact screenshot.
Okay.
I'll make sure that
he's holding her with Momo right next to him, and then Turbo Kitty in the background.
Yes,
it's like our hero moment there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look badass as hell. They're like their clothes are like all tattered.
Yep, I love that.
Yeah, fantastic episode. Do you have any other thoughts before we give our kind of rating, I guess?
Let's see. No, I think we did cover anything I would want to talk about, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I said this earlier, but I want to say it again, because the preview at the end for episode 7.
Right.
The reason I feel like it's going to be probably one of the best episodes of the show, and that's not really, all these episodes are phenomenal so far. So saying that this is going to be the best episode isn't really like saying that anything else, like it's really objectively better than these other episodes. But the reason I'm saying this is because I got like a bit of chills for some reason in the preview. So I just have this weird feeling that it's going to be an incredible episode.
What was the preview? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was showing some more of the fights, but it was also you were seeing some. I think we're gonna get some like deep character development for Ira.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay.
So I could be wrong, but I think it does you see some flashbacks that you got to see moments of in this episode of her potentially meeting up with the spirit at some point or before. And I don't know. We'll find out in the seventh episode for sure. And I'm excited.
Yeah, it does. I remember now because I'm like just rewatching the last part.
Gotcha.
That I definitely see where you're coming from. I think you might be right. I guess we'll find out.
My rating for episodes 5 and 6, honestly, and some might find that I'm being too generous, but I really don't think I am. Episode 5 is a 9, and episode 6 is a 9.5. It just is. Nice. I give it a 9.5 for episode 6. If I give it a 10, that's essentially implying that no episode can be better. It's just not the case. I'm just trying my hardest not to give 10s. Some of these episodes I could easily give 10s. I don't really need to say much more about that. At some point, I'll give a better scale, but that might be a little bit better for these situations. I like maybe go into decimals a little bit better, but have like a reasoning, but like more reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, episode 5, an easy 9. Episode 6, 9.5. All these episodes are very good, very, very good in their own right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd probably give both like a good 9. And yeah, I think of the two, I actually liked 5 maybe a little bit more, only because of like character building and just like how it made me feel. I guess. You know,
that's fair.
Like whenever there's fights, I always feel the same. It's like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Fuck, beep, yes, all that kind of stuff. But like when you get me to start tearing up, because I don't tend to be vulnerable that way a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend might say otherwise, but as between you and me, I don't see myself opening up a lot, like at least by myself, like
right.
I'll do it with my girlfriend because we're in that moment too together.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, but 5 made me feel that way, like on my own watching it, like brought me back to like some good high school stuff, some bad high school stuff, and just how I know the kind of person I am and how I would react. And they nailed it with that. So I think that's why
they did a great job.
Yeah. So,
but it's funny because to touch on a little bit more on the scale a little bit, I originally wanted to give 6 a 10, But I was like, but then I saw the preview for the 7th episode. And I was like, oh my god, this might be better. This might be better.
Yeah, just
I have to give it a 9.5 now.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait because I'm very curious to see if your tingles were correct.
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny. A little tidbit about my scale. Obviously, I do need to adjust it a little bit but I also want to argue that I think you can give out 10s because every 10 can be a 10 for its own reason.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't have to be necessarily like there could be 2 10 rated episodes this season, and one's going to be 10 for a different reason.
Yeah. I mean, 5 and 6 are good examples. Like 5 could be a 10 for the feeling factor. It's not going to be a 10 for fighting because there wasn't a fight.
Yeah.
In 6, it could be a 10 for the fight, but I mean, I guess there
was exactly. Feeling, I guess what we're trying to say is that it doesn't have to be action packed to be a 10.
Yeah, no, not absolutely not.
Yeah. So yeah, I think unless you have any other thoughts that you'd like to share,
no.
I think that'll do it for our bonus episode.
Yeah.
The recap / review / discussion of episodes 5 and 6 of Don to Don.
I'm glad we were able to catch up.
Yes. And
when does the next one come out? Is it Wednesdays?
Thursday.
Or Thursdays? Okay.
Thursday, I believe.
That just seems
early.
So far.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's that show. Has been phenomenal. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on these 2 episodes and how you're liking the anime, or if for some reason you're not, but kind of want to know.
Give us reasons. Yeah.
Let us know.
Why do you think it's not 9s and 10s?
Yeah, we're open to these discussions as long as they are constructive.
Yeah,
and they can be. I think if you like anime, then you like having these discussions probably too. So thank you for joining us. We will catch you next week in the next episode, and we will have a little bit more discussion for episode 7 of Don to Don. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you, Dean, for joining me.
Of course. Happy to be here.
All right, everyone. Have a good week.
See ya.